Hi folks, Kevin here. How you doing today? Well, looks like we're going to get another big thunderstorm coming through here in a few minutes. It's June 6, 2017. As I've mentioned before in other videos, it's been a very long, cold, damp, wet spring. And I've got to deal with the compost pile behind me here. I've been monitoring the temperature since I got it. I picked up this manure or this pot, the material that makes up this pile, about 2 weeks ago, and I've been monitoring the temperatures, and I'm going to turn the camera on and show you what I mean. Okay, right here's our horseradish bed. These two PVC pipes here are for my thermometers, and we're going to go ahead and take a look. So this compost pile has been a real problem. When we're monitoring the temperatures, we really want the temperatures to increase significantly. And you can see lots of the weed seeds are germinating and doing well. So at the surface, it's really cool. Still got some bale twine in here. So problems that I have with this, this is really good source material, but the temperature just isn't coming up. Let's look at one of the thermometers here. We're not even at 120 degrees. And so I take my stainless steel thermometers. We've got a couple of these. And these ones are 3 foot long. And this pile is approximately 20, 30, 40, about 40 feet long. We'll go around to the front face of it. It's about 6'6", just a little bit taller than me. 1 second. So I scooted up here to make sure the temperatures aren't up yet, because it would be ideal if the temperatures were up. I'd go ahead and start scooping from the outside of the pile all the way around, putting that in the center. But we're not even close to, 145 degrees. Here's one of the other thermometers. Hopefully that's showing up. Still not up to 120 degrees yet. So I have a couple of options. Well, what's the reason that this isn't up? Well, this material was gathered at the farm. I get it from Purpose Farm. That's in Baldwinsville, New York, not too far from me. And it's composed of multiple sources of manure, including horse, donkey, chicken, turkey, pig, alpaca, what else? Peacock. Did I say turkeys and chickens? And there's other species as well. So we gather up all that, and they also have volunteers that come and bring fruit and vegetables, and what the animals don't consume goes in here as well. However, this material was laid out, some of it was, I think, straw laid on the ground in some of the run-ins outside, and so there's a lot of dirt mixed in with this. Lots of dirt and rocks. There's the bale twine that I always deal with, and sticks and all. However, the pile just isn't getting hot enough. So what have I got to do? I'm going to go ahead and repile it, and we got a storm cell coming through here in a little while. And one other thing I'll do is I'll go and grab some comfrey and make a few hot spots inside of this and see if we can get the fire going in this. We really need this to get up 145, get up potentially even up to 150 degrees. We'll watch it very closely so that it doesn't go anaerobic. If we hit 165, that's an issue. But this morning, since it's turtle time, this time of year right now, turtles are, I'm surprised there aren't any snappers in this pile right now. Sometimes as I'm moving it, they'll be hidden in here, laying their eggs. And so I'm going to go gather up some comfrey, have that ready for when I repile this. And because the storm cell is coming through, I won't be able to videotape it, but I'll be making more videos on the various soil making and composting techniques we do here on site. So I'll be back. Okay, I'm out here in the first food forest, and here's a bunch of our Bach 14 comfrey, those beautiful little, I'm going to call them lavender color bell flowers and all. You know, it's known as a dynamic accumulator. I'll make a video on that talking about the definition of dynamic accumulation as used often by permaculturists. But I thought I'd just show you this. This one doesn't propagate by seed. So really it stays where you want it. You just can't disrupt the roots. If you disrupt the roots and you run a rototiller through it, you'll have a whole field of comfrey. But let's take a look at just how tall this is. Sorry. So we're almost at 5 foot tall, but easily 4 foot tall for the main part of it. This plant is amazing in that it comes back over and over again. We get in zone 5A with heavy snow, lots of ice and all, we get tons. We get three reoccurrences of it. And the truth is, I don't come out and harvest it over and over again. I often will just leave it where it is. All of these leaves will fall within 2 to 3 weeks. These will all be laying dead on the ground and sharing their organic material with the plants that are all the various fruit and nut trees in between them. And I just let them do what they're going to do. The plants just get hardier and hardier as time goes on. And now I'm going to go ahead and harvest some of these. And if I take a bunch like this one plant here and put that in a pocket in the compost pile, that potentially can create quite a bit of heat. And I don't have to worry about depleting this. I have comfrey like you wouldn't believe, all over the place. I've spread it every place, and it's really easy to propagate once you have it on site. The key thing is you just want to plant it where you know you're not going to be wanting to plant something else in the future, because those roots will really propagate. Online people sell the little segments, 1 to 2 inches long of root cuttings, and they come back just fine. That's one of the plants I'll probably be selling if there's a market for it in this area. So back to harvesting some of this and getting the compost pile heated up. Okay, got the scythe out. Took about 2 to 3 minutes. Chopped quite a bit of the comfrey out. So that small patch right there got me enough in Pepe, my little mule. About a 4 by 4 foot patch of it, and that, if I divide that up into 3 or 4 little piles inside of the compost material up above that I just showed you, hopefully that'll within a few days really start the fire going, and then we can get to work on that compost and make some beautiful soil. All right. Okay, covering the phone with my hat. So what I've done so far, I've taken the front end loader, Prime Optimus, and gone ahead and started to strip some of the outside. Now you see the top is still there and the other side is still intact. And it's been steaming a little bit, but again, temperatures are just above 100 degrees in here. Way insufficient. So I went and got Bumblebee, my other transformer, and here's the other temperature, and it has been steaming some. You probably can't detect it. Just a moment here. You might be able to see a little bit of the steam coming off, but we're just going to have a high of 58 degrees today. Another cold, damp, early June day. So now with Bumblebee, I'm going to all right, one of the goals whenever we're turning a compost pile, no matter what size it is, we want to treat it like a pillowcase. We want to turn the pillowcase inside out. So we want to take everything that's on the outer surface, and that goes into the inner surface, and that which is in the middle of the pile goes on the outside. especially once we get up to temperature. It isn't so key at this point until I get it fired up. So we're going to reach over the pile and take the top off and grab all this. And I already grabbed both ends and the other side. So I've grabbed some of the comfrey. This is from the other side, this small pile here. Made a couple piles here. And I'll start taking more and more and covering this up with some of the other pile after I pull off. I use Bumblebee to pull off the top and as much of the other side as I can. I'll remove the two thermometers first. Thought I'd show this. I just used Bumblebee over there to pull the top off and get some of the side off. I'll have to do that a couple of times. But you can see it really appears, oh my goodness, this is cooking well. Nice heat. It's the heat that's generated at the very highest point was 120 degrees, and I only got that in 2 spots. And I dig down with my 3-foot thermometers to see just where we are getting in closer to the center of the pile. But the main point is, appearances can be quite deceptive. We could see how it looks like it's, oh boy, it's nice and warm. We're going to kill those pathogens. We're going to kill those weed seeds. Nope. All those little quackgrass rootlets or bindweed pieces, segments, they're still viable in here if we just compost using a visual method. We really have to take the temperatures. All right, back to it. So I got the whole, so it's raining pretty hard. This will be the last video I'm going to shoot today out here. I don't want to get the camera or the Osmo wet. But I got the comfrey laid out. I got the original comfrey covered up over there. Oh, dang it, what's going on? Battery low. And, well, this is about the end of it. The water's running like crazy. And, farmer's work is never done. So I'm back. Got the pile all piled up correctly. Got the comfrey in pretty much most of the length of the pile, and dressed up the area around the pile to make it neat as well. The rain stopped probably a little over an hour ago, and so what I thought I'd do is just make this day 1 video and share my experience with composting this pile. These piles really help out a lot. Like when I show you the garlic beds and all, it takes about 1.5 of these piles to make one of my beds. A lot of compost. And this has been a rough start since it's been 2 weeks. I hadn't done anything with it. Hopefully the comfrey will help to ignite give the energy resources necessary for the microorganisms to take off. As I was turning it, it didn't have any of the anaerobic smell. However, some of this was very old since last December, and some of it was just in the mud. So a lot of things really were working against me, and it's been a very wet, cold, wet season so far. So the pile is pretty wet, but I was able to pick up the scoops as I did and try to let them sprinkle apart. Some clumps still came down, so that it's still saturated some areas, greater than 50% moisture content. And in the future, I'll make some videos talking about aeration, moisture content, and microscopy to assess how we're assessing the quality of the composting process that we're going over. And hopefully I'll be sharing with you some of the other techniques that we use for soil creation and other composting techniques as well. But for now, I'm going to label this video day 1 of this composting process. And as we progress through, it'll probably be about a month for the whole process to go, maybe even longer, since this has been such a slow start. We'll just have to see. But I thought I'd take you along on the journey. Well, thanks so much for watching, folks. I really appreciate it. Please feel free to leave a comment or question. Eventually I'll get to them. And I appreciate your feedback. Have a great day. Bye-bye now. And stay dry.